I'm going to do an example in order to find the standard equation or the general equation of a sine graph. Now, by looking at this example, it's talking about months and number of thousands of visitors for a certain museum. First thing I want to do is make a sketch of what this looks like and try to find out the minimum and maximum points. Now, to do that, I looked at the months as numbers and put in the numbers with the lowest and the highest counts. So from this graph, I'm going to see that the lowest count is 8 in January, and the highest count is 32 from July. If you have the 32 and the 8, you should be able to come up with the midpoint. So to do so, I took 32 plus 8 and divided by 2, and that's going to give you 20. Now, based on that 20, the amplitude, that's going to be your A, or amplitude in this case, and this right here is going to be your vertical shift, or your D. So I'm going to go down here and start filling out these values. D is going to be how far up it's going to be transferred, and the amplitude is equal to the difference between 32 and 20, which is 12. And that's equal to your A, assuming that the graph is positive. To find the other pieces of information, I'm looking at the period. Now the period, I'm going to look from 1 to 7. That's half of a year, and so to double that would make sense to have 12 months, and 1 to 7 is 6, doubling it is 12. So when I'm finding out what my B is, I have to put the period is equal to 12 months. Now I'm going to cross multiply and divide. And ultimately see that B is equal to pi over 6. That can help me with my phase shift. The phase shift here is going to be where is going to be the least horizontal shift from the y-axis. And that's going to occur right at this point, which is going to be at 4. So it's shifted to the right 4 units, means that I'm going to set that equal to 4, and I know what my B is at the moment because I already calculated it's pi over 6. So I'm going to rewrite this as negative C over pi over 6, which is my new B, is equal to 4. Cross multiply and solve. At this point, I have enough to write the general form. Now, again, this is going to be a positive sign because positive signs start in the middle and go up, just as you're going to be looking at here after the phase shift. Starting in the middle and going up. Therefore, it's going to be y equals A sine B plus a negative C plus my D. Now, if the question has for any other information, you can now answer it. So for the example, in B, it says, how many people should you expect to visit in October? That's the 10th month. So that means what you would do is substitute 10 right in for your X and determine what your Y would equal. Draw the graph, get us an idea of what is the minimum and maximum point, and then determine all of your particulars, your A through D, substitute them in, then use the equation to answer any questions.